volume off so I don't hear anything. And let's get the party rolling. Just want to make sure. Oh, yeah, okay. Twitter is working this week. Perfect. Beautiful. Let's get to it.
Ooh.
In 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ring Post Radio, the only show where, almost 2 weeks in a row, I have family coming in a lot. A lot of people just want to see me and my beautiful face, just like all of our online viewers right now. And just it is what it is. And I guess I'm gonna have to appreciate it. But I got a lot of family coming to town, so because of that, we're recording a little bit earlier, just a little bit earlier than our typical.
Couldn't be worse time for me.
I-
Your family said, fuck this guy. You can deal with it. And I appreciate the sentiment from them.
Of course. I think last time it worked out fine. I don't think Stardom had a show last time.
No, they didn't, but they did this time. So
Instead of
I'm just gonna that's gonna be my personal news story of the week, because I got the one match that I've wanted.
Mhm.
And at a historic crossover, it's Mayu versus Kyrie for the strap.
Is that confirmed today?
That is confirmed.
Breaking-
They both won their matches.
Breaking news via Scotty.
Yeah, that is where we're going, and I couldn't be happier. Now, this is gonna sound ridiculous, and I think it's probably because I was nearing 24 hours of no sleep. Listen, I took a nap in between NXT, but it was 40 minutes. Okay, that wasn't really sleep.
That's a cat nap.
That was me literally getting bored of NXT. But I think I had tears going down my face at 6 o'clock in the morning when Maya was talking. So it's been a hell of a time. I slept for an hour. I'm here. I'm ready to talk about nonsense, brawl out, NXT. Fuck. Probably something else. And that's why I'm here. Fujita, yeah. This is gonna be one. It's definitely gonna be a show.
This is gonna be this is gonna be a classic Ring Post Radio, and by that I mean sleep deprived Ryan. Sorry, no, not Ryan. Oh, I guess in a way, because don't even know who I am. Sleep deprived Scotty. Number 1. Number 2, NXT talk. Number 3, backstage drama. And number 4, Muto talk. And a sprinkle of Fujita in there, and Tanahashi. Ooh, a little Tanahashi in there. But we'll get to all that.
Tanahashi, a little one. I'm not gonna say.
But of course, yeah, like we said, we're going to talk about preview the New Japan Rumble on 44th Street. And I guess the night before Rumble on 44th Street, the New York show that's happening this Friday, Saturday combo. There's also going to be the Noah, the Return, Pro Wrestling Love Forever 3. It's weird because it's the third, Great Muta, not Great Muta, but Keiji Muto retirement tour match. But he's had a lot of matches since announcing this tour additionally. So, whatever. But technically, this is the third of 5. This is the last one. The next one, I believe, is the Great Muta and Sting teaming up. And then the last one is the final.
I just don't think they're ending.
Oh, no. But of course, we'll also review NXT Halloween Havoc. And we're actually, we're going to talk about AEW's Title Tuesday, the Tuesday Night Dynamite. Because that was, I thought, a really good show. And
newsworthy show.
Yeah, especially newsworthy show. So we'll get into all of it. But first, hold on. We have breaking news right now. We have breaking news. It's coming in the form of a brawl out update.
It's breaking news.
No, it's not breaking news. I was hoping I would get you with a bit where I say broad update and then do a doggy noise, and then you sold me and was shocked by breaking news. How embarrassing!
You have to understand. I am so tired. I am not going to sell most things.
Okay, I have to try harder on my jokes. This is a hold on. Let me do it again. This is a
No, it's too late.
This is a breaking. Oh, hold on. I fucked it up. This is a brawl out update. That hurt my throat.
It's too early in the morning to be barking.
Look, if I learned anything from comedy, it's that if I continue to double down on the joke, it will eventually turn back around and being funny. Right?
No.
Anyways, so we do have a brawl out update. Finally, it's the coincidence of Dave Meltzer complaining about not having any news about the brawl out and no update about it, and then seemingly within the next week we get some news. So it looks like someone heard his words of frustration, which were completely fair, but we got some news. So it has been reported that Ace Steel, backstage producer, has been released from the company, released from AEW. Apparently, much to his reported surprise, apparently he was reported by Dave Meltzer from Wrestling Observer that he was surprised by the news. That feels like it paints a picture of the mindset of Ace Steel for sure, and then probably CM Punk as well, a little bit as well, since they were both in the same side of the argument, I guess, per se. So on top of that, I guess before we get to the Punk talks, how do you feel about Ace Steel being released from the company?
Bye. Good riddance. It's such a shame. I was hoping he was the only person released.
That's fair.
I was hoping we could find a silver lining in all of this, which there might still be one if the Elite walks back in the door sooner than later. But
that's true. So we're kind of alluding
I just want
to
the story to end. I don't care anymore. I know you're going to talk about CM Punk right now. I've accepted he's gone. Like I've accepted it. Been there. Let's get on with it. Like this reminder this week, I was like, couldn't you have just done this like already? Like what are we waiting for? I mean, I know legal stuff. That's what we're waiting for. But just like this is the longest, most drawn out, boring ass story now because I don't care anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely drawn out well past its welcome. Especially that was the whole Dave's spiel, is that like, when the NBA Draymond Green stuff happened, it was like solved. The story life cycle of the story was like, I don't know, a week at best. like maybe a couple days, and here it's like we're at, I don't know, week 6, week 7. It's just way too long. But yes,
I'm gonna start my own brawl out.
Who you gonna bite someone? You're gonna bite your dog? Your dog's gonna bite you?
I work with fucking children.
Where's your muffin, man? You gotta have a muffin.
No, you know what? I'm gonna say it. If CM Punk handled this better, he was kind of right.
Oh,
he does work with children.
Sure, I yes.
There's been like 4 fights since then.
Yeah, that is true. It is this idea
but
of like,
he handled it on a public forum, and he stupidly called out the Elite and Hangman Page. The Hangman Page one was just him being sour, and the Elite one was him having misinformation. Which I'm pretty sure this week someone like reported that Punk now knows that it wasn't the Bucks.
I believe it was also Dave.
Yeah,
he deeply regrets not telling him, clarifying with Punk before All Out.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. I'm just kidding. I don't care. Well, I do care. I would like CM Punk to still be in this company. However, we move on.
Yeah, so apparently the news that came out, the big news that came out of that was that there are reportedly talks within AEW that they are considering, whether maybe the plan is, or the consideration or whatever, is to buy out the rest of CM Punk's contract. He has lots of years left on that contract. Surely it's a couple millions of dollars too. Probably as much money as he maybe gained while being in this company. This company gain off of him since being in. They have to now pay him off right now, maybe. But the issue is, and apparently that's part of the issue why this is taking so long, with CM Punk in particular, is that they are wanting to add a no-compete clause to that contract, so that when they cut him, he doesn't walk straight into WWE, assuming that is what Punk and WWE want to do after this or during or after his injury, whatever the heck.
What 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 has given anyone the idea that that is something he wants to do? That we need to hold all this up for that.
For
Who
WWE.
cares? Who cares? If he wants to walk in there, a place that he's openly trashed on, and work for a guy he's openly gutted on multiple podcasts,
That he seemingly
then
has less respect than the guy,
uh,
the sex offender guy.
then like go for it. Who cares? Like just move on, Tony. The sooner you move on, the better. The product improves. The elite are back. You don't have to do this anymore. This is just you stressing about something that you probably don't need. He's injured. He's not doing it, tomorrow, right?
Well,
It's just like, who cares?
Well, there is the argument that injury be damned. CM Punk's most vital weapon that he has to him is his voice. He doesn't. He doesn't need to
Yeah,
be.
that's true. I would
He
work on
shows.
that more than I worry about WWE.
He shows up. He shows up at WrestleMania or whatever, or Raw or whatever, with a microphone in his hand.
Sure.
It's doomsday device.
Well, it's
You,
gonna happen one way or the other.
yeah, no,
I
I'm
don't
sort
think
of
he's
the.
gonna trash Tony Khan.
I mean, yeah, I don't. I'm. He didn't.
Tony Khan paid him a lot of money.
Yeah, so I think that's part of it. Is that that's certainly part of the issue of why people think he could go back to WWE is the money, because obviously they'll have the bankroll to duel out. WWE is in the moment right now of, you know, he's publicly trashed the company. He said that he has a lot of issues with Triple H. However, at the end of the day, money is money, and money can mend a lot of bridges. So
Sure.
that's the thought process there.
Triple H does mend bridges. That was his literal job. I'm pretty sure when
He is
Vince was still in charge.
he is the head of talent relations, so his job is to
Yeah.
mend these bridges.
But he did it. But my point is, he actually did it.
Yeah.
Right. Like he
Oh yeah.
was able to accomplish things with Bruno and Warrior.
That's right. That's actually a great point.
Sting,
I
for
did.
example.
Wow.
A lot of people.
I
Goldberg. You want me to keep going? Like, it's very possible he could do it with CM Punk. So I get that, but it's just like, man, just who cares? Just move on. Move on. Help your company. Save your company. You know, we're sitting here and we're appreciating their shows and they do, but there's still this gaping hole
mhm.
that is this story that is Brawl Out just impacting these shows and impacting this company. And you're going to feel it until it's officially over. And it's officially over when the Elite are back on TV.
How do you feel about that as a potential resolve to the CM Punk side of the story? Buying out the rest of his contract now, adding a no compete clause. Because I'm reading that and I'm thinking to myself, why are we doing a buyout now? Why don't we just sit him at home and just put him on ice for years? And like that, serve that as a no
Right.
compete clause. He gets his money no matter what. It seems like
Because the minute he isn't on that contract anymore, because I'm guessing the contract isn't as long as we may think it is.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, we know it's at least multi-year, and it's been 1 year, so it's who knows,
right. So it could have been. It was probably like a 3-year deal. I'm guessing
Sure.
3, 2. It wasn't. It couldn't have been too long because he always sounded uncertain of when he would be done,
Mhm.
which for good reason, I guess. Um,
I guess at least.
I get where you're coming from,
Mhm.
but like I think it's a situation where it's like a morale thing for the locker room. Like, yes, he's gone, right? You don't have to worry about it anymore.
Washing our hands of the whole situation.
Because if you keep him on the books, there's always the opportunity he comes back, right?
Mm.
You just never know. Things could change. And maybe for Tony, it's just like, all right, fresh start. Like you said, wash the hands. We move on. Plus, you just pay the money now and don't have to worry about it too, which is always I'm sure if he buys it out, in some ways it could be cheaper. If you don't buy it out, he's still going to get merch sales.
That's a great point. That's a great point. You still probably get merch sales.
Which might be a good thing. I mean, he was number one,
Mhm.
I'm sure, if not number one, number two. Um,
Yeah, wasn't there like a graph that came out from WrestleNomics, I
yeah,
think?
there was long ago, but I don't know where it was.
It's
It was a few
lost
weeks,
to the
few
annals of
months. Yeah,
Patreon and Twitter.
exactly.
Um, yeah, no, yeah, I think there's also the idea of it maybe being a little bit of goodwill. I don't like.
Yeah,
Maybe that is also like a key, tiny key into Tony Khan's mindset about the whole situation. About he he's obviously upset about it. I would imagine
yeah,
he obviously can't talk about these things as Ariel Hawani find out. Um, but maybe there's part of it where it's like, he still is a fan of wrestling. He still respects Punk for what he's done for his own company. So maybe it's like, well, here, we'll give you the money at now. We're not going to ice you out for years. You're not going to sit on the silence for years, but we'll just pay out the rest of your contract. Just when we do that, you can't go to this other company immediately. You can go later, but just can't go immediately because we are at a war at the end of the day. And maybe that's part of it. I just feel like, if you are at a war, maybe you just ice them. If the idea is like you want to treat it like a war or something like that, that's maybe not necessarily Tony Khan's MO right now. But if you want to sort of maybe treat it like a war, you ice the guy. I don't know. I say all that, but I'm also thinking to myself that, like, at the end of the day, is Punk gonna be colder a month from now than a year from now in WWE? He's gonna do a monster pop no matter what he does,
yeah.
So
I was gonna say the moment CM Punk, if he ever does again, which big if, um, that would show up again, it would be the same exact thing. It would like it's CM Punk. I've seen enough people on Twitter like complain about him and hate on him and whatever they want to do, but he made money. He's one of the biggest stars wrestling scene over the past 2 decades. Um, and newsflash for everybody: his 1 year run in AEW was excellent. I'm not, it wasn't for me. It wasn't ruined by one night. It was like I remember when this all first happened. They were like, someone was like, "Is this as bad as the Ultimate Warrior and how he left wrestling?" I was like, "What? What? There's no goodwill here. Like, how are we forgetting what he did literally up until that press conference? It was all pretty much shining rainbows. I don't give a crap that he called out Hangman on Dynamite one time. That never affected me. Should have, I guess, because it ended up affecting everyone. But I don't know. It's what. Who
it
cares?
affected
Let's all move on.
affected everyone on the come down.
Uh,
Yeah, no, it's yeah, the whole situation has definitely lasted longer, but I still find it fascinating that it is. This is just how long this is all taking and how the movements are, and seeing the people's mindsets. Like, Ace Steel being surprised that he got released. I think the guy might be a little delusional as well. And on top of that, we only get news about Ace Steel and CM Punk, whereas we don't have any news about the Elite.
it's almost like they didn't do anything wrong.
And I was about to say, not only do we not have any news of the Elite, but during, we start getting CM Punk and the Elite coming back into video packages and stuff like that. The ice is thawing, things are coming forward. Uh and maybe if the fact that we have news about Steel and Punk, the Elite aren't going to have any punishments, and this was enough of a punishment for them, and they're just going to be back soon. Maybe that's the idea. Who knows?
I just I'll say this: if you don't bring them back by or at Full Gear, you are there's something wrong. Like there is something legitimately wrong. They should be on that show, at that show, one way or the other. Enough, enough. Like they came back for like a month, had how many great matches?
4?
3,
3 or
4,
4?
right? Win those trios titles and then nothing. Don't get me wrong. That triangle's been great with the titles. They've only got to feud with one team, so it's not their fault.
Mhm.
But they've done great. Well, let's get back. Let's get back to where the plan was. I'm sick of this. And that also, you know, let's us go into stories for them, which we still haven't really done. Kenny Omega hasn't had an actual storyline in like it'll be over a year now.
Yeah, I mean, they've at least teased storylines, but they've never executed on
Yeah, but they're
anything
all
yet.
dead now. All the stories are dead now.
Well, no, the Will Ospreay one you can keep doing.
Well, that one,
Yeah,
obviously, and the
that's one.
Hangman one if they want to, but
Yeah,
like those are all things that are just like already there. Like I need a real storyline that they develop on television that isn't just like long-term elite stuff or stuff from Kenny's New Japan.
that's fair. That's fair. I mean, obviously they can also just make a storyline with them versus Death Triangle. But yeah, no,
Thank
I get what you're
you.
saying. I get what you're saying. Which the Death Triangle now going into another story, feuding with potentially Kingston and Ortiz.
Yeah, and
Feels like Kingston
third guy
Ortiz.
no one knows.
Yeah, third guy that no one knows. Who knows about what's
I'm
happening there?
sure it's not Santana. Feel pretty confident about that one.
Is Homicide coming into the company now
Oh
again?
Jesus. Yeah, he's like, all right, we lost one Ring of Honor legend. Let's bring in Homicide.
Mm.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
lose to Jericho as well. We can do that as well.
Oh, there you go.
That's
There
not a
you
bad
go.
idea. Other news that came out this week is that during Title Tuesday, AEW announced that Ring of Honor will be having their next show. I believe we said it on the air, but I'm going to take it as anyways. I believe I called it in December. Final Battle. You and I talked about this, I think, last week, and we nailed it. Ring of Honor Final Battle was announced for December 10th.
We did nail it.
So victory lap for us.
I was coming here for the. I was only attending this show this week for the victory lap.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's a big victory lap. Maybe not a huge victory lap. It's a solid victory lap. The bigger victory lap, the part 2, is getting the TV deal announced at that show, which is another prediction you and I had, which I
Oh
feel
yeah.
strong about.
Oh yeah. TV deal, streaming deal, whatever it may be. It's time to lock up. It's time to get some more stars for that show, which to be fair, they don't really have. I don't know if there's any besides like Dalton Castle and the boys that jump out to me like guaranteed Ring of Honor guys. Um I'm probably not thinking of someone, but like that's the automatic one. Jonathan Gresham. Uh
The
yeah,
embassy?
the embassy too. Yeah, it's cool. I'm happy. I mean, the show's airing at like 3 or 4 Eastern.
Yeah, so that's actually the part of the whole interesting thing is that so it was announced for Final Bout.
And then some NXT useless shows after it.
Yeah, well, yes. So Ring of Honor was announced on Tuesday to have a show in Arlington, Texas. The show is at 3 p.m. Um,
Why?
don't don't know. Maybe they knew something was coming down the pipeline because then it was announced, I believe, the next day via Fightful Select, and then confirmed the day after that, and then even more confirmed last night that NXT will be having a takeover pay per view called NXT Takeover Deadline.
Is it called Takeover?
I believe it is. Uh,
Let me see.
yeah, look that up, please.
I
But
don't actually know. I remember seeing the announcement, and never for a second did I think. Maybe I don't know. Continue. Sorry.
at the very least, it's also happening December 10th, and I would presume happening that that night, I guess. So yeah, it will be that Saturday, Ring of Honor Final Battle at 3 p.m., and then a little bit after that, NXT Deadline, maybe a takeover on December 10th. So we have a little bit of that Clash of the Castle, NXT, whatever the last show was called, NXT Takeover, whatever last show, and All Out. We have another one of those situations brewing. Not doing head to head, but someone moved a slot. I feel like, why are we doing it at 3? Do we know what time the previous Ring of Honors were? I don't recall. I don't think they were
I
at
don't
3 in the afternoon.
I don't no, I don't I don't get it. I don't get it.
What do you not get?
I don't get why we're running 3 o'clock.
That's fair.
Who cares? Like, what is NXT gonna do?
I'm looking up now. Death Before Dishonor did.
Like, how many people? Okay, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
But this isn't your AEW pay, okay? How many people that were going to watch Ring of Honor, a very, very specific show? We're gonna watch Halloween, not Halloween Havoc. Deadline. Sorry, NXT Deadline, not Takeover. Unfortunately, I did look that up. It is not a Takeover.
Dang.
That automatically makes it better. Oh yeah, I just think we are. I'm looking forward to it though because I enjoy it.
Yeah, I saw that Ring of Honor, both previous Ring of Honor shows, Supercard of Honor and Death Before Dishonor, took place at 8 p.m. This show is scheduled at 3 p.m. I have to imagine that in Texas
earlier.
It is. Yeah, would it be earlier for us? No, I think it. Let me.
2. That's Central Time.
Yeah, let me see. Did it say? Does it say EST on there or something like that? Is Bianca Belair on there?
I
wish. Texas owned Bianca Belair.
Is Mercedes Martinez still champion?
She's still champion. She's just injured. No, it does not say EST or Central Time or anything. It just says 3 p.m. Interesting, but yeah. So I guess
either way, it starts earlier in Texas.
Yes.
Whatever time it is.
Exactly right. So yeah, so we have Ring of Honor Final Battle coming down the pipe, but then we also have NXT Takeover Deadline. Do you think that is a coincidence, Scotty?
Oh, absolutely not. No, not at all. NXT Deadline, wasn't there an announcement that came with that? I feel like, I don't know why. I feel like there was something talked about with that show that I'm not remembering. I'm probably just thinking of it myself. I thought there was more hype to it for some reason, but it's NXT post takeovers and stuff. So no, is there really any hype?
I don't think there was any. I think maybe the hype was that it might be a takeover, but that seems to be false.
Maybe that was
it. And then just the hype being that.
What is Deadline? Why is that
okay, let's look that up. So I'm going to Google.
What's the deadline here for NXT?
So Deadline is a Hollywood Reporter. So NXT Hollywood Reporter. We'll have We'll have cameras. Lights, camera action. Bright lights, camera action. Carl Anderson, the Ode, will defend and drop the Never Openweight title here at NXT Deadline, aka aka Hollywood Reporter, aka Lights, Camera Action, aka Bright Lights, Camera Action against Hikuleo and Grayson Waller or something. Now, that's how we do it. That's how we do the transition.
I don't care for this NXT Deadline stuff. You know what? I'm hoping out of all this that we learned that there's like a Fozzy concert in Texas that night. And Jericho was like, "Yeah, can we just like move it up?
Yeah,
so I can get through the main event and move on." Oh yeah, sure. All right, let's play a game. Let's predict the Ring of Honor Final Battle card. So it's less than 2 months away, which is a lot more time than they gave last time, for sure. Remember last time they're like, "Yeah, it's in 2 weeks." Oh, okay.
Yep.
So yeah, let's predict based on the current storylines. For just the world title, tag titles, television titles.
Women, should we just say women's
You
in
do
case?
pure too, but women's, I don't know if Mercedes Martinez will be back.
I'll say women's just in case she is back.
All right, sure.
Just in case. Well, I'll start this one as an easy pick. Ring of Honor World TV title. I think that will more than likely, in my opinion, probably be Brian Cage.
Yeah, it's a good call.
Makes sense. If not Wardlow, but I don't think they'll do a
No.
turn for that. I think it's just going to be Brian Cage.
I was thinking Brian Cage too.
Well, that should be good. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
seems good.
A good match. Sure.
World Tag Team titles.
What's not to like?
What's that like? World Tag Team titles. I'll say FTR versus OGK.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's not to like?
That's also where they're going.
What's not to like?
This is my point. Like, you can already see the show that they're making.
Mm-hmm. 6-man titles.
Oh, right. I forgot those existed. Yeah, that's a toss-up. I couldn't even begin to tell you. That could be literally anyone. That could be a brand new trio that they're bringing.
Well, it could also be the Embassy if they bring in,
hasn't been a story they've started telling yet.
No, but if they bring in like the crown jewel of the Embassy, that redo that gimmick, there's the guy of the Embassy.
They're bringing Saudi Arabia.
No. And maybe that's why they haven't done it, because
they're bringing Logan Paul.
That's the crown. Logan Paul and Prince Nana just standing next to each other. Yeah, so I guess that could be anybody, but there's no one in particular that stands out.
No, here. That's why I didn't name the trio's title, besides forgetting it. But
pure title.
Oh, a little Danny G action. I think it'll still be Utes.
Yeah, I think that'll be a little bit better of a match there, going from a main event to a pay-per-view match too.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially what they did with Bryan Danielson recently by inserting Utes into that storyline. It definitely feels like they're now going that way.
Yeah.
Jericho.
We gotta do Jericho last. Women's title. I'm gonna
women's title.
Throw a dart here, okay? I'm gonna throw a dart here. Watch it out. So it's Mercedes Martinez still, right?
Yeah. Assuming she's healed up and can compete.
Let's get crazy. Let's say Athena.
Ooh, down in Texas. Is her hometown Texas? Where is she from in Texas?
She's from Texas. Is her hometown Texas? No, her hometown is not Texas. That's a big town.
She is born in Garland. This is in Arlington.
Whatever. It's all Texas.
It's close enough.
That's all Texas at the end of the day. Yeah, I think Athena would make a lot of sense there. Maybe kind of give her that title to run with.
Yeah,
perhaps because we're going to talk about the women's division in a little bit, and let's just say there's no road for Athena right now to that title. They've kind of blown off all of her stuff, but recently after that Jody Threat match, it was just a normal match. People, I don't want to hear this anymore. I feel like you can start to build her up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think Ring of Honor is a bad idea, and I also like, and one of the things,
she'll be on both shows.
She'll be on both shows, at least for the time being, unless the TV gets announced on this show.
Be on AEW.
Unless the TV gets announced on this show, in which case we're correct again.
Unless you were wrestling or feuding with Toni Storm or Saraya, you were probably not going to be on the show. So what am I talking about?
She'll be on Rampage.
She'll be on Dark.
She'll be on Rampage.
No, she can't. That's territory for Penelope Ford,
who's injured again.
Baddies, who's injured. Which is such a shame.
What about
Anna JAS?
What about Kiera Hogan? Kiera Hogan versus Mercedes Martinez. Does that tickle any part of your fancy?
Couldn't tickle me less.
I
am the opposite of Tickle Me Elmo.
That's my least favorite Christmas gift is to Tickle Me Less Elmo. But yeah, Mercedes. I think Athena's a good pick, and one of the things that
I agree,
I really enjoyed taking from that Jody Threat match is, one, I think Jody
got that dog in her.
Jody Threat should get another look at, but two, Athena's got that dog in her. Turn Athena heel. Have her beat the crap out of a returning injured Mercedes Martinez and win the title.
She's a baby face. Yeah, because she feuded with Dee, right?
Yeah.
She was a baby face. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, I think that would actually be really, really good. I would enjoy that a
You're
lot.
welcome. Made that pay-per-view for you.
Ring of Honor World Champion. Who's the champion? Who's the holder?
Well, it's definitely Chris Jericho. Oh, this is pretty much half the reason I asked the question, because I was like, who will it be? Could they go back to Danielson? No, I don't think so.
Danielson I feel like you've done it too many times to do it
Yeah, you've
again.
done it 3 times already. Don't do it again.
This is the main event. It has to sell a pay-per-view.
Yeah. Are you gonna do a former? Here's the thing: if Samoa Joe didn't have that TV title, he'd be the obvious choice.
So let me look up a list of former Ring of Honor champions.
It's gonna be Nigel McGuinness.
I mean, that's not a bad idea if it's possible. If it's possible,
I announced. It won't be Adam Cole. I'm thinking of all the former NXT.
Here,
Seth Rollins.
I got it right in front of me. Okay, so we got Low Key.
No, please no.
Xavier. That one's gonna be hard. That one's gonna be hard to do.
That's tough.
That's tough. That's a tough one. Samoa Joe. Probably not. Probably
I said,
not.
if he wasn't holding the TV title, it would probably be him.
Probably not. Austin Aries.
Nope.
CM Punk.
I'm good. Nope.
James Gibson, aka Jamie Noble.
Nope.
I think he still works for WWE. Brian Danielson. No, we don't think it will be that. Homicide. That's not a good pay-per-view main event though. That's a good TV match. I think.
It's a good Rampage. That's a good live Rampage match.
Takesha Morishima.
That would be nuts.
That would he tried to return to the ring in 2018 against Riki Choshu, and then it didn't work out. So probably not. Probably not. Nigel McGuinness.
We're cooking here.
Nigel McGuinness.
He's an interesting one. If he can actually still go.
If he can do it, he's been not we've seen bigger, a lot of, big returns out of nowhere returns this year. Yeah. So
I wonder when they do the Christopher Daniels match.
That's another option.
I don't think I don't consider it a TV match. I mean, nope, back up. I don't consider it a pay-per-view match, more of a TV match. Mostly because they're both 50 years old.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
But Christopher Daniels, here's
something about it. Something
about it. It's like I could see them do that.
Here's an interesting one that they could tease, but they've already kind of did an angle that might be separate.
It's Jay Lethal, isn't it?
No, I was gonna say Jerry Lynn.
Yeah, that'd be a choice.
That would be wild. That would be wild. Austin Aries again. Tyler Black, no. Roderick Strong.
Why not?
Roderick Strong.
It won't be Roderick.
If he can get released, bring in Roderick Strong.
He tried. It's not happening.
If you want to do some contract tampering, Tony Khan, get Roderick Strong. Eddie Edwards.
Probably not.
Probably not. That would be interesting, maybe, but probably not.
It'd be interesting, but probably not.
Davey Richards.
That'd be cool.
I don't think that's a good main event, but that's a good TV match bit.
Not to just jumping off the page here as a main event.
All right, here we go. Kevin Steen.
Except for Nigel. Nigel's the one. No, it won't be Kevin Steen. No, for obvious reasons. That would be like the one.
Yeah.
Story there.
Yeah. Jay Briscoe. Jay Briscoe? No. Maybe. I don't think so.
Probably not. But they'll have a match though.
All right, well,
they're signed. People forget that.
We'll fast forward here. Well, not fast forward, but I'm going to go a little faster. Adam Cole. No. If he can return, I think that is a solid main event, though.
It's definitely a solid main event, but
no. Michael Hogan, no. He's busy doing comedy.
It's called his wrestling career.
Well, no, that's over. He is legit actually doing comedy now.
No, I know.
Jay Lethal.
Ugh, that's going to be the one. I'm going to be so upset.
That's possible. I mean, they're both heels, though. I don't know.
He keeps going back and forth if he wants to be a heel or not. But man, Jay Lethal would be so lame.
Kyle O'Reilly, probably not.
No.
Christopher Daniels, already talked about him. Cody, that would be awesome.
That'd be awesome. I would love if it was Cody. I miss Cody so much.
Dalton Castle, we already saw. Jay Lethal, Matt Taven. I'm in for it, baby.
He's gonna win tag titles. Sorry.
Yeah, he's already in tag titles. Roosh.
It won't be Roosh.
Should be Roosh.
Roosh doesn't give a shit about that title.
No.
He never did when he had it.
Good TV match. Roosh.
It just doesn't make sense because they're both heels.
I know. Maybe do Roosh and like someone else as a face. I don't know who that would be.
If they kept down the story they were going, the obvious answer was Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, I agree. But then and then maybe you do that. Maybe you do Daniel Garcia.
They could do Claudio rematch.
Yeah, they also have Bandito, which you already saw. Gresham would be wild, and Claudio. They could do a Claudio rematch as well. They could easily do a Claudio rematch.
I could see Claudio. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. This is as much of a toss up. Like we predicted everything else, all the average ass titles, but we can't predict this one.
I'm weirdly circling a lot of injured guys. I'm like weirdly circling Nigel McGuinness and Adam Cole and maybe Jerry Lynn. Just being like, maybe.
Here's one. He's hurt now. I was thinking Hangman.
Never world champion, but
never
maybe
got to win it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, maybe win the Ring of Honor title from Jericho.
Yeah,
a guy he couldn't beat.
Another choice I have with Eddie Kingston.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't want to put the AEW world title on him, but that's not the story they're going with, clearly.
No, yeah. They're already setting up a Pac.
Him. By the way, crazy that El Generico never got the belt. That's fine.
So it's okay. Some people just never win the belt.
Okay, well, El Generico was great. He should have won the belt.
Anyways, more
Jungle Boy. It's Jungle Boy.
We've already almost spent an hour on the news bits, so I'm going to go very quickly here. So, Voices of Wrestling posted news about Carl Anderson, and never openweight title situation in New Japan.
Starks. Sorry.
Ricky Starks is good. So they said in the report about Carl Anderson and the New Japan never title situation, as previously reported by multiple outlets, Anderson along with Doc Gallows have been working for New Japan without a contract and reappeared with WWE on the October 10th edition of Monday Night Raw. According to a New Japan source, this was not a situation where Anderson or Gallows blindsided the company, as New Japan were well aware the pair were in ongoing negotiations with WWE, and when a deal was struck, they immediately informed New Japan office of all known WWE dates they were booked for. The key here is that New Japan was aware Anderson wouldn't be available for the November 5th Osaka date before the card was announced. Anderson defending the never openweight title against Hikuleo was always the plan. Someone, believed to be Anderson, but they have not verified that, pitched announcing the match anyway, knowing full well Anderson wouldn't be making the date. Then, turning the entire thing into almost a Brock Lesnar-esque stealing the title storyline with the idea that Anderson is ducking Hikuleo, with the company furious and fearing he's going to take the championship to WWE and never return. They don't know when the match would happen. That seems like they still are planning to have the match happening. Voice of Wrestling's, their best guess is there's a December 14th Sendai show they could do it at, but if they want to continue the bright lights gimmick with Carl Anderson, maybe there is no bigger light brighter than Wrestle Kingdom. So that is the whole gimmick there with Carl Anderson and New Japan. How do you feel about that storyline? I will say it now, happening with New Japan.
Oh, it's the dumbest shit in wrestling. It is the dumbest story. It is the dumbest news thing. I couldn't care less because the match at question is Carl Anderson versus Hikuleo. Who cares? Who cares if this doesn't happen?
This isn't Okada.
This isn't give a shit less.
This isn't Okada Naito we're fighting over.
Right. It's like, who cares? Do you realize the match that you're like, oh my god, I can't believe it's not happening? It's Carl Anderson A guy who lived off of one match his entire career, otherwise has been an average at best tag team wrestler, but guess what? Mostly a below average, who gets paid a lot of money to be shite, versus Hikuleo, who isn't good.
Who's really just coming, like just emerging in the main
Yeah,
roster scene.
yeah. Here was the best thing I could say about Hikuleo. He's not Omos. Congratulations. You're not Omos. You're a lot better than Omos. You can move, so that's a good start. But
He's
like,
he's not Fale. He's not Fale for sure
he's
too.
not Fale. He's
Sorry.
better than Fale.
Yeah.
He's not better than Braun Strowman. So take that for what you will. This it all sucks. Who cares? Like I have the hardest time at caring about all this because I look at the match, I'm like, I don't even want to see the match. I was never gonna watch the match to begin with. And if they put it on Wrestle Kingdom, ugh, what a waste of time. It's a one night Wrestle Kingdom. You gotta be packing the house. You gotta have, you gotta have your old school, Ishii and Shibata match for that title. You don't want Hikuleo and Carl Anderson. What are you doing, New Japan? What are you doing? Like, I'm gonna say it. You're lucky Stardom saving your ass for that pay-per-view because they actually gave a main event worth watching. Otherwise, your average asses would probably put Carl Anderson and Hikuleo on that show. I'm so sick of New Japan's really angering me right now. Like, this is so dumb. It's so dumb. Who cares? It's Carl Anderson.
That all being said, of course, they could always strip the title off of Carl Anderson and then do
That's the dream scenario.
Hikuleo versus somebody else if they still want to do Hikuleo.
That's still bad. That's still bad. Hikuleo's still getting a match, but whatever.
You can do like Hikuleo versus Juice, as a Bullet Club representative. That's an idea.
Sure, man. I don't know. Who cares?
How do you feel about also that of
the never open weight title being absolute nothing?
No, about the idea of how do you feel about WWE's practice of you can't finish assuming that's what they might do here, you can't finish your booked dates. You have to stop everything you're doing and work for us. I mean,
They're just a company.
Mhm.
Like, think about it this way. If you got a new job and you had to leave your company, right? You got to give a 2-week notice, probably, right?
Mhm.
Most people do.
Mhm.
You don't always have to, but you usually do.
You try to.
Right. And for their stories, they needed, God forbid, they needed the Good Brothers there ASAP, because sweet Saudi money couldn't go on without them. Well, they couldn't go out without sweet Saudi money, let's be honest.
I think that's also a big part of the story that no one's
So
acknowledging is that
to me, that's the biggest thing. It's like they just want the payday. This is like we can blame WWE all we want, but this is why they wrestle. They don't wrestle any other reason. To be fair, most probably shouldn't, but I appreciate the people that do wrestle because they like this. But that's what they care about. And guess what? They're not going to get a bigger payday at Wrestle Kingdom, unfortunately, than they are at Saudi Arabia for Crown Jewel. It's a screwed up mindset, but that is the mindset they live by, and that's just the truth.
Well, my big story there as well is that I think is slightly being overlooked is it's I understand going for the payday. We got brought Shawn Michaels out of retirement to do so, but it's these guys that are doing all of this for the Saudi Arabia payday. Yes,
Yeah.
we know. Yes, but we know they like the money. But it's these guys, Gallows and Anderson, who are some of the biggest outspoken people about the plane ride from Saudi Arabia that didn't happen. And they were the ones tweeting out, "Oh, I'm gonna die on the plane" and all this stuff, and then the wife getting the wife all worried and all these things. They were seemingly the biggest proponents of that. They were seemingly at some point involved in a lawsuit about it, allegedly, and they are now not only returning to WWE to get the paycheck, but to get the Saudi paycheck to go back to the country that started them wanting to leave the company seemingly in the first place. What? It's so what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. I don't understand it. Maybe I don't understand it.
Uh,
Also, this would be the first Saudi show if no Vince. I want to see how that plays out. That whole experience would be
it's
very interesting to see.
yeah. Um, how do it's so hard to care about the Good Brothers, man. Like the feud they came back for was with they run down AJ Styles, who hasn't had a great match since like 2020 in a warehouse, and the Judgment Day, which is like watching House of Torture, but somehow worse.
Yeah.
Because House of Torture at least has good wrestlers.
Plus, they have Evil. So
Dominic Mysterio, terrible,
yeah,
awful
you
wrestler.
can't tell me that Evil is worse than Dominic Mysterio.
No, you can't. You're lying to yourself. You can't tell me Yujiro Takahashi's worse than Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio sucks. He is awful. You want to talk about a guy that should be in the Performance Center? That guy should be in the Performance Center. And what's his name? Damian Priest. He's not all that good either. But
I had a hot take that I don't have the evidence to back it up. I don't know if I should unveil a hot take.
you don't need evidence or hot takes. Just
spew them
you're
out
just gonna
there.
drop it like it's hot.
I feel like some of the Performance Center's best. The Performance Center doesn't really do a fantastic job with wrestlers,
No.
but they are the WWE Performance Center is the premier place for celebrities to be great wrestlers.
Oh yeah.
You know
Oh
what I mean?
yeah.
They're
It's
not
true.
not every wrestler coming out of a performance center is good, but every celebrity that comes out of a performance center is somehow
It's almost like
amazing.
they probably care more about them.
We'll leave it at that. Let's move on to AEW Dynamite Title Tuesday. This, of course, was a Tuesday night Dynamite. Got moved around because of sports, and they obviously had to take on a doubleheader of NXT and a bunch of other sports.
Oh no, NXT.
So they loaded up the show. Both NXT and AEW
NXT
loaded the
did
show.
I know NXT put like main roster stars on it, but can we stop acting like the main roster stars were like Roman Reigns? Like some people were like, "Well, this shows the drawing power." I was like, "Yes, the drawing power of Rhea Ripley and an unannounced Shinsuke Nakamura and a talk show with Kevin Owens didn't bring in viewers." I'm stunned. I'm stunned. The Good Brothers didn't bring in viewers. Stunned, baffled, shocked.
It's
Yeah,
almost like it's almost like not every wrestler in that company is a star.
Yeah. Also, listen, I love Kevin Owens. I'm not tuning in for a talk show segment.
That's fair. That's fair.
If he was wrestling like Ilya Dragunov, guess what? I probably would have tuned in, but he wasn't. So,
Do you think they should have brought in a Roman Reigns or someone like of that ilk?
well, they were definitely not bringing in Roman Reigns.
Sure.
No, they don't have anyone else of that ilk.
Yeah, I mean, they still grew in the demo and everything, and that's all good. But they still,
Yeah.
but the meme quality of they lost in the overall ratings.
Well,
to
they
AEW
lost
because
Riho's back, but that's fine.
That's true. That's true. They don't have a Riho. They don't have a needle mover. Got it.
No, they don't.
If they put Riho and the bunny in a segment together, poof.
They didn't go back. They didn't go head to head for a year, pretty much. And the moment they do, Riho's back on TV. It's just uncanny.
Do you think that was on purpose? Do you think it was planned that we have to have Riho on?
Yes and no. Like, yes, that the moment she was there, they knew she probably had to be on the show because that's part of the fun. But no, like she had visa problems. She like this would not have been her AEW return if she didn't have problems with that.
That's true.
But that's just the truth. Like she couldn't be there. Otherwise she would have been wrestling on Darks for like ages now, at least. She wouldn't be inactive for an entire year essentially, except for like JPW matches and then like the last time she was in AEW.
That's true. Well, let's talk about Title Tuesday. So we open up the show with a trios tag team title match. The Death Triangle are able to defeat the team of Chuck Taylor, Trent Beretta, and the All-Atlantic champion, Orange Cassidy. What did you think of this match?
It was great. Another great match between two good trios. Fits exactly what I look for when they do these matches. That's why I like the trios titles because like, oh, We're gonna get a great match. Cool. That sounds good to me. We can move on from this feud now, please. I don't need to see Pac and Orange Cassidy anymore. And that obviously follows with everyone else. I do like that we're teasing the dissension of the Death Triangle
Yeah.
because like if AEW needs single stars, you have 3 just sitting there. just they've been sitting there since the moment you opened this company. They're all ready, right? Like
Mhm.
they're all ready to be single stars. We're getting Penta versus John Moxley this week, of course, which very exciting. Hopefully they actually let them, do like Penta when he's great and not like
Triple A
Cero
Penta.
Miedo 75,000 times.
Yeah.
It's like that's what I hope for. But yeah, great match, great way to open the show.
Yeah, I agree that the feud obviously ended here. I liked that they Pac was teasing the hammer shot. Phoenix was like, no, man, don't do that. You don't need to do that.
I
And
would have
then
loved if Penta grabbed it and did it
oh my
because like
god,
Penta's like a great heel
yeah.
if he wants to be, but it's okay.
I also like Phoenix as a heel because he's very like asshole.
He
Very,
is, but he's also a great babyface. It's like
that's yeah. It's hard. It's tough.
it's a good thing to be, I guess.
And then yeah,
All three of them.
we started the dissension, or not started, I would
Yeah,
say,
just
but
teased
little
it.
tease here, and then going into the Eddie Kingston storyline, which was also sort of a dissension storyline, or reunion of that. That
So
also is
Penta
very
was like,
interesting.
you kind of bitching.
Well, he's still my best friend. He's still my best
Yeah, he's
friend.
still my best friend, but dude, you're kind of a bitch.
Next up, we had Tony Storm defeated Hikaru Shida to retain the AEW Interim Women's Championship. The second match on the show, when I saw Shida coming out, I popped. I was like, "Yeah, baby, here we go."
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
thought we had a really good match here between the two. I thought this was a really good match. What did you think?
This, off the top of my head, this is either my favorite women's title match of the year in AEW or second. I can't think of them all.
Hmm.
But that was really good. Really good at it. Wasn't really shocking to me. I kind of expected it to be really good.
Yeah.
Tony has been excellent as champion. I was the one to tweet out that Tony Storm is your NXT, not your NXT. Jesus, thank God. Thank God she isn't. Actually, no, that'd be great because Mandy Rose would be. But nonetheless,
Oh, I think Mandy
she
Rose would
is.
still be actually. If we learned anything.
Right. She is still the AEW. Like she is the AEW Women's Champion.
Mhm.
That it's her. Get rid of the interim thing. Stop. She's been on the show every single week since she won this title. Not only on the show, but wrestling with as champion. And she's been, and I said this the best thing to happen to that title since Sheeta lost it in terms of just being a women's champion. Like you're wrestling, you're just getting the job done. The matches, for the most part, have been good, if not really good,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Like
The
I think
quality of the
it's been
matches have
great.
been way better.
Yeah, I think she's been great. And I'm someone that, I'm not down on Tony. I think she's a good wrestler, but I acknowledge like she's not this super duper, like when we were talking about Sasha Banks, for example.
Mhm.
Like I was like, she's not that level, but she's a game changer in other ways for this division, and it's proving to be so. She is the world champion, and Thunder Rosa's even said she's fine if they just drop it. Like she doesn't care.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how long she's out either, and they can play that story when she gets back. I think you just drop the interim title. She looked good.
Mhm.
She always looks good. She can not wrestle for how long and she'll be good. She's been wrestling, so that's the other thing. She stays active, which is great.
Mhm.
It was nice to see Sheeta and her have a match like this. I thought they could have held off a Full Gear, but I see where they're going. I'm happy that they weren't really overshadowed. I mean, I know stuff happened after, but they got their match through first, and that was nice.
Yeah, post match, Jamie Hayter and Rebel hit the ring with a crutch for a post match beat down. Britt Baker made her entrance, right? Wearing a Steelers jersey and all that stuff. And then Soraya, of course, made the save. Her and Baker brawled to the outside. Hater and Rebel continue the beat down, so not a great save by Soraya. Just more of a reason to beat up Britt Baker. But then it was someone that a true ratings mover, true needle
Yeah,
mover had to
someone that
make the
actually got
stage.
cheers, unlike Soraya.
Had to make the stage, and it was Riho making her final return, or visa issues figured out, making the whole save, and dropping cross bodies to Jamie Hayter on the outside.
Poor girl has never done a run in her life.
No.
She walked out there. Huge pop, by the way. Huge pop. People love Riho. I love Riho. Everyone loves Riho. And she like stopped at the top. She's like, "What? Do I run? Like,
Yeah, so
what am I
confused at
doing
what to
here?"
do here.
But once she got in there, she's kicking ass.
Hmm.
That crossbody, like you said, was insane. Jamie sells those so well. Yeah, and the best part is she's doing it in like a pink dress, so it's like, yeah, look at her, just kick your and pigtails. Like
Pink-
she just had like the pure look going on, yet she kicked everyone's ass. It was
Mhm.
great.
Backstage, we had a backstage interview with Renee Paquette and FTR saying that they want to go after the AEW tag titles finally for their 8th star. They're interrupted by Swerve in Our Glory, who said that they want to go after it, and that sets up a tag match next week: FTR versus Swerve in Our Glory. It's number one contenders, I should say.
So do they add a star every time they have a title run?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was like per like company title. I was like, well, they already won them. That
No,
makes sense.
no.
I guess they've won everything once. They didn't win anything twice. Hmm.
I'm thinking about SmackDown
I was gonna say they could have
and
just
Raw.
tossed it. I know they tossed the titles on them at one point.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of SmackDown and Raw tag title reigns. I feel like it's
Ask
only
me
been
if I'm
once.
looking.
Are
'Cause
you looking?
I am.
Perfect.
Uh, so I'm kind of like I'm the one with. So I know like a lot of people kind of turn on FTR.
Hmm.
Um, they held the Raw tag team titles twice.
Okay. Okay.
He also was 24/7 champ. Anyways, you're welcome for that. Um, but like I haven't been the one to sour on FTR because I recognize that I watch FTR for wrestling. I don't watch them to do promos and all this stuff. That being said, like this this weird like story they're doing with like them not being the AEW champions but having every other tag title in existence is kind of weird. But I'm happy we're going to the result now of okay, they're gonna fight uh Swerve in Our Glory.
Hmm.
It's gonna be a great match. It's gonna be a great match. Not worried about that one. Can't wait. And then we'll go on from there. Whether it be, and I think we're going to Swerve in Our Glory wrestling each other at
Yeah.
Full Gear. And then you get FTR versus the Acclaimed. And if I don't,
I
I
think.
wouldn't turn FTR. I think that's important. I wouldn't turn them.
Hmm.
I don't know about you, but like I know some people have soured on them, but overall their reactions are still huge
Yeah.
when they show up. Helps to have a great theme song.
I would.
Um,
I would have them win that match at Full Gear.
I would too.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Then they might start turning
Yeah. I think
because
people.
you beat the Acclaimed.
Yes.
But the Acclaimed aren't built for a long title
I
either.
completely agree. I completely agree. It's an Adam Page
I'd give them
situation.
titles.
It's give them solid runs, but they don't necessarily
It's a
need.
lot shorter.
That's true.
Though.
They don't need a long run. They
Yeah.
perfectly serve. They're just as hot. They are, they're the new age outlaws. They don't need a long title reign. Just give them the titles a bunch. It's
Right.
they're fine with
They're
them.
they're kind of there for the chase.
Hmm.
Now that they're champions, it's like, all right, cool, good for you guys.
Yeah, we wanted to see them win the titles. We didn't want to see them have a reign.
I mean, I personally did, and I think FTR, you put the titles on them. They do the thing with the OGK, they beat them
Yep.
or don't. I don't really care. They probably beat them.
Yeah.
And then by the time Revolution comes, you
Hmm.
could consider them in the Bucks again. You could consider because I know that's a big money match. You still have to pay off eventually, but you
Mhm.
can do that whenever. There's so many tag teams in this company. Like it's not a question.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, I think that's the move of FDR. I think you're completely right, and that prediction of the plan is with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just, and I think the other thing is that people forget is that, like, people are all getting worked in. It's like, why aren't they wrestling? Why aren't they wrestling? We also remember, like, Dax was like working through an injury at one point. Remember that whole big shoulder thing strap he had
Yeah.
on him? That's gone now, so I guess he's healed up. Now they're putting him in wrestling matches. So I think that's also the idea that people forget is, they were kind of injured a little bit, so they healed up. That's why their lull of the summer happened. Now they're back, and they're kind of, maybe they're using that, as you sort of surmise, as we maybe surmise. Maybe if they want to, they can turn that heel if they want
Yeah.
to, but they have the option, which is good.
Yeah. I
For
won't talk about this again, but the Aussie Open was my number 2 tag match of the year.
yeah, I went 5 stars as well. I'm in between. I got some thinking about it. I'm
I
still
didn't go
reflecting.
5 stars.
Really,
I was
really.
right there. I only have 2 5-star ratings this year.
I think I have four. I think I have four.
I think with my head. I know the first. I know. Well, I know 3 of them. I'm trying to think of the third. I'm trying to think of the fourth one.
Let's see.
I don't know. There's been a lot of great wrestling this year.
Oh yeah, it's
hard
it's
to.
a match you specifically would be like, man, I don't think you would think it would be a 5 star match. So what do you think?
Cody
What do
Rhodes
you think the
versus
three
Sammy
of them are?
Guevara.
No, 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 no.
Oh,
So we
'cause I
so we
did
have
not like that.
we have Royal Quest Aussie Open versus FTR.
Yeah, Briscoes,
Briscoe's FTR. Do you have
Osprey and Okada.
G1 Climax final? Yeah, yeah. And this is the one that was also 5 star for me. New Japan Cup Night 3, first round match. Shingo
Oh,
Takagi
Shingo.
versus Tomohiro Ishii.
Oh yeah, that was a great match.
But that might be 4. That might be 4th on that list.
Yeah, yeah.
Um.
Good problem there.
I agree.
I was not on that match, by the way. It was excellent.
Oh yeah.
Long time ago. Oof.
Yeah, it was March or something. So let's move on to the next bit, which was Tony Schiavone in the ring with William Regal.
Oh,
Before William Regal can talk, MJF comes out. MJF informs us, the audience, and Regal about a story of his where when he was 19 and training, he got extra work in WWE. He got tryout matches. Regal loved what he saw, apparently, and told him that to send tapes to Regal so that he can, watch him grow as a talent. MJF did that. And then week 3 was like, stop bothering me, from William Regal. William Regal said that, he was in the industry at even younger, and saying that he did all that to light a fire under MJF. Sort of a, you're welcome promo from William Regal here. But, if you want to be a bad guy, if you want to do these things, then, never touch Tony Schiavone, and all this stuff. But, basically telling MJF that he should not take shortcuts, hiring people, do his dirty work, using the diamond ring, all that stuff. If you want to be the devil, then do it right now. And he, turned his back to MJF. MJF decided against it, and that obviously led into the main event segment as well there. But this promo segment, obviously I'm not doing it justice completely, because this promo segment was another all-time promo from MJF. Unbelievable. Unbelievable stuff.
what he does, and this is obvious, but he tells the story of his life, right? And he tells it in a way where you kind of hang on every word. You kind of because of his promos in the past, right? And I've been on this show before, and I have critiqued, I have said MJF does too much hanging fruit promos. He does too many, kind of just trying to get reaction promos. When he's doing this, when he's doing something real, when he's telling a story, when he's not trying to, make fun of Brian Pillman's dad, right? That was the feud I think that I was really touching that on. When he's being him, right? He's untouchable. I separate American wrestling and like worldwide wrestling because American wrestling, they are more on promos than any other company
Yes.
or any other part of the world.
Yes.
So when I say this, I mean specifically in America because of how important this is. MJF is the best in the world in terms of, and I say in the world, but at least on American wrestling meaning, like American wrestling purposes, he is the best in America right now because he's a great in-ring wrestler. Right, his match with the Wheeler Yuta, the guy took months off, walked in the ring, and had a great match with Wheeler Yuta.
Hmm.
And he was having great matches before he walked away for a little bit. But no one touches him on the mic. No one. So the fact that he's able to do all that and tell the stories that he did on this show alone, right? Of him being angry with William Regal and William Regal going right back at him. It's like, yeah, well, I have worse things happen to me, but it was to light a fire under you. That's what I wanted to see.
Hmm.
And call him a cheap guy and turn his back and say, hit me, essentially. And, MJS unable to do it because he's like, I don't want to do it cheap. And then, okay, we just got to skip to the end. I'm sorry. We have to do it. It's part of the story.
I agree.
And this was always going to happen. I know people were like, was this like, always, it was always going to be this. It was just a matter of how they did it. With Hangman getting hurt, you had to pivot in some ways,
Well,
but this was
this was planned. Yeah, this is how it's planned, right?
it
It's
was
a
going to
slight
be
pivot, but
teased as a cash in instead, like a real cash, right? Because the match would have ended, Moxley would have won,
mhm.
and then MJF would have been standing there thinking about cashing in, right?
Yep. And then and then doing the exact same promo, calling back and saying, "You know what? I don't
Yeah,
need to do a shortcut. Regal's right. I'm going to prove to him that I can
yeah.
do this without shortcuts."
And the promo, this was my favorite line of the night, despite having that all timer type promo. Him saying, "For one time in my life, I'm gonna do it the right way," or something like that. I was like, that was perfect. That was perfect. And now I think he has to lose.
Or I'll say this: cheat his ass off at the pay per
Mm.
view to win the
It's the
title.
it's the it's the Osprey thing with Okada, right? Osprey can't beat Okada, hasn't beat Okada without cheating. So like, if you want to play that story, right? He ends up cheating. He got his title finally, but there's always that thing in the back of his head. He's like, well, I didn't do it. So when you go back to it down the line as a babyface, because guess what, guys, MJF's going to be an incredible babyface. He pretty much already is, but I don't think they'll fully embrace it, even though I really want them to. You got to go two ways. Either he's losing, he's just outright losing,
Mhm.
which great story if you want to go. Even though I want MJF to be champion already, um, or like you said, he cheats his ass off to win. There's no in between because you can see MJF flip that switch right back to being as heel as possible. Um, it's masterful stuff.
Is there an in between? I'm thinking of reactions, right? If he wins the title, cheats to win
Yeah,
the title, is that a he? Will he be cheered or booed?
yeah. I mean, I'm going in the mindset of not the actual crowd, but like his character.
Hmm. Yeah, no,
Like,
I know. But
like
I'm
if
saying
you
that.
have you know how WWE in the back they have the run sheet of heels and baby faces.
Yeah,
He would still be on the heel side if he's cheating.
I agree. I agree. But I'm saying that, it's also, you don't necessarily, if your reaction you're going for is
Mhm.
booze, then will that elicit booze or will that elicit
Right.
cheering, especially how it's going? And I'm thinking about, is there a gray area? And I don't know if this is a good idea of
Yeah.
cheating and still losing. And then you have that proof of the
That's
cheating didn't work.
interesting.
You know?
Right.
Is that
That's a good way to go too. That's I think that's the excitement though of this main event. This is the most like I
we're
know I've said it like the past three papers. But this is now the most exciting main event they've had
This is
because
the
MJF's that good.
this is the to steal a bit from Voices of Wrestling. This is the get into it moment of a main event
Mm.
pay per view. For it always comes at a certain point where
Also,
there's a certain point where you're like, get into it.
AEW's finally found their replacement for Cody Rhodes. It's MJF
Ooh, interesting.
in
As the
every
heel or
single
just
way.
the aspect of him.
Like, there's just like anytime I know some people got sick of Cody, and I don't think it's going to happen to MJF, but just that guy that you kind of have to see what he's doing every week, right? And kind of the guy that if he loses, and say he goes into that match and loses clean, it's kind of reminiscent of Cody losing to Jericho. You're not going to have a guy throwing in the towel like MJF did, but it's going to have that feeling with the crowd that I think people are going to be upset if MJF loses. And you kind of needed that baby face that is good at both things like Cody was. I don't know. I feel like you haven't had that since Cody left, even though Cody did nothing for like a year. You didn't have that, right? He feels like the replacement for Cody while also just being his own thing.
Well,
That makes sense.
let's carry that thought further. Cody never winning the world title. Do you think MJF is ever? Do you think MJF will never win the world title?
Yeah, I think he's winning the world title. Well, Cody booked himself into an idiotic.
I know,
plan.
but my point is that does MJF need the world title? Him as a character, does he need it?
No, and that's the thing why he's like Cody.
Yeah.
But he should have like
yeah, which was also the thing people were also saying that about Cody is that he should have it though.
Right. See, we're having this conversation. I thought about that after this show. I was like, man, he's kind of getting that Cody feel to me. When Cody was red hot at the beginning, you know, the time that people forget that Cody was untouchable.
Yeah,
like Cody was the guy in AEW. He feels like that right now.
Yeah,
and that's still the hottest baby face besides maybe CM Punk.
Yeah,
that AEW's had.
Yeah, they're in a good position, man. They're in a good position with no
Yeah.
Punk or Elite. They're in a good position. Backstage promo or backstage interview video with Bryan Danielson and Wheeler Yuta. We sort of already talked about this, but it was the idea of Danielson really speaking high of Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta getting sort of offended by that. Getting offended by like, you know, you're giving all this praise to Daniel Garcia, but like, what am I, chopped liver? And also not only that, but also sneaked in that he's like, oh yeah, Claudio agrees with me. So that's an interesting angle as well.
I like that story.
So
I think they're doing Danielson and Wheeler possibly a full gear, kind of like a prove it type thing, which is great because, you know, someone made a great point the other day with a tweet. I don't remember who it was, so I apologize. Bryan Danielson doesn't have a signature pay-per-view match.
In AEW or just in WWE?
In AEW, not in.
I was about to say he has the main event of WrestleMania.
He has plenty in WWE actually, but as Bryan Danielson in AEW, like I don't count Anarchy in the Arena because that was chaos.
Yeah.
It was Anarchy.
Thank you.
He just doesn't have one. He has exciting ones to go into. So think about the first one was against Rusev. Sorry, what's his name? Miro.
Yep.
Miro.
Where's that guy?
That was good, but it wasn't what you expect. Wasn't fitting of what he was doing during that time, let alone right. Like it just didn't touch that. So yeah, Miro. You've had Jon Moxley, which
that
was
one was
good.
Great. That one was great.
That was probably his best.
Yeah,
that was great. But was it the match of the night great? Was it that like I still think he's had greater matches than that.
It wasn't
Anarchy in the Arena.
It wasn't the it's not like a all timer match. It was like this was a great match, but it wasn't necessarily an all timer.
Yeah, the Anarchy in the Arena. You had the bust of a match against Jericho, which was just not good. And that's it.
I'm double checking on Cage Match as well, but I think you are right and all that stuff. That Not a lot of
He has
not a lot of
more
stuff.
matches I remember from TV. Like his best match, in my opinion, is the one with Garcia.
Yeah.
The second one?
The 2 out of 3 falls.
Yeah, that one. That's one of my favorite that might be my favorite AEW match of the year. Which is like that's the funny thing though. I'm sitting here and I'm like, yeah, Bryan Danielson. If it's not that, it's the Hangman match from earlier this year, and neither of them happened on pay per view. It's like weird.
But that's a good thing, like, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
it's a good thing.
you
But
have
I want the signature match now.
sure. But you can have a signature match on TV as well.
Him and Utes bleeding in the middle of the ring.
That'd be good.
I can feel it.
You can have a signature match as well. That is totally fine. But
I
just
guess anything on TV the real was great. So
yeah,
it's like,
I think it's
I guess I
good.
can count that.
Yeah, I think it's good to have Bryan Danielson, and but that's also the other thing about Bryan Danielson's character is that he loses all of his big matches. So he doesn't win pay-per-views. So why have him
Right.
lose at pay-per-views constantly when he'll just win at TV all the time and have great matches? And I think that's the idea, and that's what they're booking him around. Now maybe he turns heel, joins JAS or whatever. Blow
Please
your
don't do
mind.
that.
And
He was a sports entertainer.
so maybe maybe he does all that. Maybe he comes out and he's Brian D, and he has a surfboard. And he's a dude with attitude.
I am hoping that it's him and Utes. That'd be a good idea.
That'd be interesting. Speaking about Ring of Honor, Chris Jericho defeats Dalton Castle in Ring of Honor World Championship match. I thought this match was pretty good. I thought, it was fun. Nothing too fantastical, crazy, I think, from this match. Trying to keep the show going. So, I mean, did you have any quick thoughts about this?
Dalton Castle would be a key player if he didn't hurt his back.
I 100% agree with that. 100% agree with that. Post match, Jericho tries to beat down Ian Riccoboni, but then
I was getting angry.
You're about Ian?
Don't touch Ian.
Yeah, I agree. I don't touch Ian. And then Jerry Lynn make the save until he was tombstone on a chair, or on the belt. So good luck, Jerry. Terrible. What are you, Soraya, with these sort of saves? You got to do better at this guy, guys. I like not every save being a good save. It's just funny to me. We get the main event: Jon Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page for AEW World Title match. So this match, very good.
Talk about the match.
Very. I thought it was a very good match. Obviously, up until the end,
soured by the
ending. I think 15 minutes or so before even the show was over, Hangman Page took a running lariat. Did the spinning, lariat, basically landed on his head. And he was reported to have a concussion. He went to the hospital shortly afterwards. He had to get stretchered out, but apparently he's in good spirits. He's healing well. He's just got a concussion. So hopefully it's not a bad concussion. That's the thing about concussions. It can be months, years, days. So we have no idea when he'll be back. I mean, look at Adam Cole. Adam Cole has a concussion.
Depends how many he has had.
Yeah, that's true.
In his life.
That's also true, and who the heck knows about that? But Adam Cole is, he's been gone since June, and we have no signs. Well, maybe we do have signs with, Ring of Honor needing a main event.
It's also teasing.
Yeah, maybe the Kingdom with Adam Cole. You need some cronies.
But I miss Adam Cole. I know. Like some people just weren't in on him, but I do miss Adam Cole.
Yeah, I get you. I think
him and the Kingdom would be so entertaining.
I think that is just
different.
I think that's just the reinvigoration that he needs.
Yeah. They just redid the Undisputed Era.
Yeah. That's what I was old on. I was old on it. But then, the main event, like I said, I think it was a very good match up until obviously the end, and then we already talked about the post match as well. But it's disappointing. I'm glad to hear that he's healthy. I mean, it could have been way worse. That bump, he could have broken his neck or something.
I've never been so happy to not watch AEW live. Because I watched that, I was like, oh Jesus! And I looked quickly, and they already had the thing out on AEW, like the message about his condition. I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
I was like, I couldn't be happier that I didn't watch this live.
Yeah, that could have been really bad, and we're glad to hear, of course, that Adam Page is feeling better. Hopefully, he can return soon. And they got a beautiful built-in story that it fits. It's perfectly booked. Of just you can go right into it. They go right into it. It works perfectly. So
they want.
Excited to see it.
if Moxley retains. If Moxley retains. Big if.
Yeah.
Big if.
We'll see. Big MJF. Let's move on to NXT's Halloween Havoc. Scotty, how much of this show did you see?
I saw too much.
You did say earlier that you took a nap halfway through it.
Yeah, so I didn't want to sleep through the Julius Creed match, but they did something so unforgivable that I just said, "All right, taking a nap. Not doing this anymore." They did something with Shotzi and Lash Legend and Quincy Elliott, and I was like, "I'm done. I'm going to sleep." I only slept for 40 minutes, but I missed 2 matches.
Well, let's get to it. I don't watch the main and the semi-main, so I'll walk you
The
through
show
it here.
sucks, man.
So we open up the show, of course, of Chucky.
Of course.
Who else? Who else when we open the show?
Who else but a fake doll?
That's like if I opened up like an AEW Dynamite review and said, "Of course, we opened the show with Rick and Morty." Moving right along.
We did that once, actually.
We didn't open up AEW with Rick and Morty. I don't think they were on screen as characters.
Didn't they all wear masks or something?
That was a match, not the first match. I'm saying if the characters Rick Sanchez and Morty Smith showed up on television.
That's fair. I thought they had I thought someone wrote a segment. I thought maybe I'm dreaming.
I think you're having dreams. But the first match was the North American title ladder match. The multi-man Oro Mensa, Wesley, Carmelo Hayes, Nathan Frazier, and Von Wagner. Talk to me about this match.
Oh, this was really good. This was actually really good. Lots of creativity, which is hard to do now. You just kind of had a bunch of guys out there that were trying to prove something, which is nice. You know, when you have ladder matches on the main roster, sometimes you kind of realize you're just setting up for the spots.
Mm-hmm.
It was clunky at times because you have 5 guys that haven't done ladder matches probably in their career. Like Nathan Frazier was great, but at the same time, you could tell he was a little hesitant on certain things. Von Wagner almost killed someone in the front row with a ladder.
He almost killed someone in the commentary booth with a person.
Yeah, when he chucked Wesley, I was really sad because I want Wesley to win. As you remember last week, I said Wesley's winning.
That's true. Another victory lap for old Scotty Edwards.
Just saying, said Wesley would win. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff that I can't remember off the top of my head. Good action. Oro Mensa's pretty good.
All right.
Learned that. Nathan Frazier's like, he's gonna be special for them if they want him to be, which big if. You never really know with this company. Carmelo's great. Von Wagner was there a little too much. He's kind of bad. He's bad. He offers nothing. Yeah, you know what? I found a guy that Hikuleo's better than again. He's better than Von Wagner as well. Congratulations, Hikuleo. But Wesley winning was great. It was really great. It was a really good feel-good moment because, you know, he had the legs cut from under him last year. This year, I think. When did Zachary Wentz?
I think it was this year.
Yeah, so like he had those legs cut from under him. You kind of felt like he may not make it. Like he could be cut eventually. And now he's a singles champ, and everyone was happy for him on Twitter, which was really cool. Like everyone in wrestling, you saw Zachary Wentz say that's my best friend, which, you know, you kind of get emotional because that's like, oh, that's cool. Like, you know, he was watching for him. So I'm happy for Wesley. I think he can have a good reign. He's a very good wrestler. They've made him a good babyface.
Yeah, and I think I'm excited for it. I think that I'm really excited.
Him and Axiom.
Yes,
it's gonna be great.
I'm excited.
Hey kid, by the way.
Right along down the stretch here, we then had. I mean, do we want to talk about the haunted mansion bullshit?
No, I don't. I don't want to talk about it. It was awful, man. It was so bad. This is when, so you open up with the hot ladder match, and then you go to this, the hot garbage, and from here until like pretty much the main event, it was just a lot of bad.
So we talked about this before the show started, but this is 100% a rehash of the Dexter Loomis, Johnny Gargano booking Monster Mash Halloween bullshit from
which I also hated.
2 years ago.
That was better because Dexter Loomis is that character.
That was the one that had zombies in it, I think.
Yeah, the zombie ref that like stuck around for like a few shows. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that was they're rehashing a bit from 2 years ago.
Chucky was in this one though.
He was.
Gigi Dolene had the hots for Chucky.
She had the hots for Chucky?
She seemed like she was interested in Chucky.
I don't like that. I don't like that one bit.
I didn't say it was a good thing. Gigi Dolene is an interesting cat. She also had the hots for Darby Allin, so.
Well, I guess she had the hot. Well, isn't she currently dating not Wesley, the other one?
Zachary Wentz?
Yeah.
Last time I knew, yes.
That last time I checked.
Last time I gave a shit.
I
never did.
And I'm constantly checking around on the surf webs.
I really care what these people's personal lives are.
Next match was Apollo Crews versus Grayson Waller.
This was fucking terrible.
We spun the wheel.
Awful professional wrestling.
We spun the wheel, made the deal. It landed on casket match.
It was the wrestling. Like when they actually wrestled, it wasn't bad. But Apollo Crews became the Undertaker. He was sitting in a broken casket. The lights went out. He was standing at the top of the ramp calling out for another casket. And I was like, what? Match is bad.
I don't like that. Again. I can't wait to watch it.
I'm giving you the quick reviews because one, I know we're short on time, and two, I don't want to talk about the show.
That's as much as you got for it.
That's
fine. It's disappointing to also hear that because it's like
could have been a good match if it was a normal match.
It's the thing about NXT is that or about WWE in general, is that they hamper great wrestlers by putting them in dumb stipulations and dumb storyline bits. Grayson Waller is really solid. Apollo Crews is a great wrestler, and we're doing this.
Casket matches suck.
We're doing weird mysticism for Apollo Crews. We're doing a casket match. It's not.
I know they did spin the wheel, make a deal, but
it's not good. Ugh. Not good. Next match, Cora Jade versus Roxanne Perez. It was already spun. The wheel was already dealt. It was a weapons wild match, basically a street fight between Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. I know you were super excited about this match. How was it?
Had its ups, had its downs.
Ooh.
Roxanne Perez is great. She did the most she could. I know some people hated this. It was one of the better Cora Jade matches I've seen, which isn't saying much. Roxanne Perez is really good. She did her best. She won, so that's a win. It's a win for the house. Someone made a great point to me the other day why she's probably not called up yet, and it's probably because she's not 21 yet.
You think? You think they care about that?
They don't take someone on tour that's full time that's younger than 21. I remember they did that with Paige too, and like the moment she turned 21, she was on the main roster. So that could be it. Because she's ready. She couldn't be more ready, actually.
Yeah.
Which is funny because she's also the youngest person on this roster. But she's more ready than pretty much everyone not named Tyler Bate and Ilya Dragunov.
Look, I mean, they called her Prodigy for a reason. I mean,
her butt said Prodigy.
Oh, on this show?
Yeah, her gear said Prodigy, but it was on her butt. So.
Well, maybe that's good. Maybe they're returning to a Prodigy or whatever. I can't even speak.
Yeah, as long as she's not a video game player anymore. Remember that?
I hated that.
I did too. But she's great. The match was whatever.
We come back and Shotzi is in Beetlejuice and Lash Legends there, and we're just gonna skip all that.
Please do.
Again, we want this show to be more We want
It
this.
ended. I just want to say it ended with Shotzi spanking Quincy Elliott.
And again, Shawn Michaels and the WWE brass would like Halloween Havoc to be more in line with NXT than a WCW. And that is what they're going to do to realign that with.
They don't have enough of. They don't have the big pumpkin, so it'll never happen.
They don't have the big pumpkin.
Just saying.
Ambulance match.
Right.
Ambulance match between Julius Creed and Damon Kemp.
Neither of us watched this.
Neither of us watched this.
I heard it was pretty good though.
I heard it was. The reviews I'm looking at right now were as good
really?
as previous matches you saw. If you,
Oof.
this person gave it a C plus, which is the same rating they gave Cora Jade and Roxanne, and
All right,
a little bit higher than Cruz and Waller.
I did see Damon Kemp swing a chair, and he didn't look like a guy that would swing a chair. It would have probably been really good if they didn't have a stipulation on it, which is something I felt like I said for all three of these matches.
I feel like I just said that.
Yeah,
Cruz.
Yeah, stipulations are bad.
Then we had Mandy Rose and Alba Fire arriving to the show. We had the women's title match of Mandy Rose versus Alba
I woke up
Fire.
at the end of this. I saw her win via toxic attraction help, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Yes.
The whole point of the haunted house was for Alba Fire to get them away, and they still did exactly the same thing. This title reign is the worst title reign that has happened in WWE.
Yeah, it's
period.
Like we talked about how it's the rehash of the Gargano Dexter Loomis one. That at the very least, the ending of that match was they unveiled a ghost screen creature to be Austin Theory, right?
Yes.
And left everyone else in the haunted house. Here, they just got rid of that, just brought everyone back from the haunted house. So
yes.
I don't know what we're doing, but whatever. It's just whatever.
Whatever. Wrestling can be bad, and they are bad.
It wasn't a good match. It was like aggressively fine. It was disappointing, really, with Alba Fire in there. But it is what it is. Someone, I think it was Bix. This is all alleged. I think it was like Bix tweeted out something saying that like, is Mandy Rose now on the main roster because of her vaccine status? Is that what it is?
That was
allegedly.
Rover, I think.
Was it Rover? No. That's very funny.
I think.
Rove. Is that what it is? Maybe more French with it. Yeah. Main event.
Wrestling bad.
Main event, triple threat match. Braun Breaker defending the title against JD McDonough and Ilya Dragunov. The NXT title, of course. This match is getting a lot of praise. This match currently has at last I saw it, and it's early readouts for a cage match, so it'll probably go down a little bit as the day goes on. But early readouts for this match on cage match is a 9.16, which is about a 4.5 stars. Do you agree with that sentiment from cage match?
It's a little high. I thought it was a great match. That was the best match of the night. Ilya Dragunov should be in the Brutes division, as I called it, which is the Sheamus and Gunther division. What's his name? JD McDonald, Google me, as Kevin Owens called him.
Correct.
He was good in this match, and Braun Breaker was good in this match. It was really good. It was very good, I'd even say. Best match of the night. Not that good, not 9.1. But it was very good.
Yeah, no. I thought this match was pretty good. I definitely
they pinned Dragunov though, so
they did pin Dragunov. I did not agree with this match being a 4.5 stars.
That's a little high.
I think I went 3.5. Oh, I went 3.25.
Wow.
I wasn't too high on this match. I thought it was perfectly okay. I thought it was slow.
Very NXT.
It was very NXT. And it was also, I've been on the show before, and I talked about what my ideal triple threat match is.
You probably would have liked it more if you had to watch the rest of the show.
Maybe. It was the first match I watched. So maybe it was like, maybe there's part of it there. But it was, I talked about before what my ideal triple threat match is, and it's quick, fast-paced action. This was slow, methodical movements, the classic WWE-isms of throwing someone to the outside to beat down someone else, A lot of pointing and talking, a lot of shuffling our feet.
Yeah.
The Ilya and JD stuff was good, obviously, because they're weirdly right now just pushing a lot of the NXT UK guys.
Not Tyler Bate though.
Not Tyler Bate. Don't know where he went.
What a shame.
Maybe he was the skeleton zombie guy at the haunted house. Scrambles or whatever his name was. Yeah, no,
It was NXT.
it's disappointing. I was not into this at all, and if you were into it and that's your bag, that's fine. It's just I've spoken about, like, I like, if it's a triple threat, I want people moving and grooving. I don't want fast 23-minute triple threat match. That is not fun for me as a triple threat. I want to see, let's move, let's pick up the feet, let's pick up the pace. I want to see hard hitting action, and that's
Yeah,
I don't want to
I
see
get it.
I don't want to see three guys moving slowly. Come on.
I thought it picked up halfway through.
That's fair.
It was a build. It's weird how they do these matches because like you said, you would expect high speed, not high speed.
I want Azame in there. What are we? I want to see Azame.
Yeah, I mean, sure. You expect a good pace, right? The whole time they do this weird thing where they kind of build it like an epic main event, but it's with 3 people,
Mm-hmm.
so it's weird. I enjoyed it, but at the same time, 9 point whatever is way too high.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's a lot of.
But it's I thought it was not the best match in NXT this year.
Sure.
One of the better ones I've seen. To be fair, I can't think of many. So
I just saw
and I don't count UK.
I just saw a cursed graphic, probably. I want to get your thoughts on it. I just saw a graphic that was advertising an upcoming Friday Night SmackDown match. I mean, I just want to get your thoughts on this. Coming out of NXT, of course. This is a trios match, a 3-way, 6-man match. Legado del Fantasma, you got Santos Escobar, you got Mendoza, you got Joaquin Wilde. And then they're against Hit Row. But Hit Row only has 2 people. So we got AJ Francis, we got Shante the Adonis, and we have a mystery guy. Coming out of NXT, kind of concerned that they're putting Carmelo Hayes with Hit Row.
Ooh. Well, it would definitely make them more entertaining, but Carmelo Hayes is better than that.
Yeah. I don't like that. I'm looking at that. Ooh.
Like, I think that would be a weird feud to put him in because it feels like Legado should be winning whatever that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just gonna hope it's not it.
Yeah. It seems like they put in Legado to maybe showcase Carmelo Hayes more. Maybe that's the idea, since they've already worked together. But
Carmelo Hayes is a star.
And maybe it's not Carmelo Hayes. Maybe it's someone else. Maybe it's JD McDonough. Maybe it's Hit Row. Maybe
by the way,
maybe it's someone else.
If it's JD McDonough with Hit Row, man, I think I'll give them money just for how funny that is.
Let's move on to. Go ahead.
By the way, I was trying to find my NXT match of the year, and I struggled. Not including UK.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably. Oh no! Oh dear God. Might be. I don't remember any of these. Move on.
Well, I was going to say that reminded me about how I see Braun Breaker as the 3.25 star general.
It's not a bad spot for him 2 years in.
It's not a bad spot to him. I'm saying that of the 12 Braun Breaker matches I've seen this year, 9 of them I gave 3.25 stars.
How about that?
It's pretty good for the guy.
Consistency. It could be worse. It could be a lot worse.
That's accurate.
I like Braun Breaker. Yeah, he still has ways to go, but it's getting there.
Yeah. Let's talk about New Japan. Has a show this Friday and Saturday of 2 shows
They do.
in New York City in the Palladium Times Square. The Rumble on 44th Street is happening this Saturday, but there's also going to be the Halloween show the night before Rumble on 44th Street. That show in particular is going to be a mystery show. You can get tickets for it and everything, but also I think they're doing a special thing that if you show up in a Halloween costume, you'll get a little like bonus sticker or whatever something. So show up in costume, show out. It's a mystery show. Who the heck knows what's going to happen? There's people on the posters, which have been,
we're not talking about the posters.
We're not talking about the posters, but there've been people on the posters.
We're not talking about the posters.
Nothing's been announced for anything, so we'll see. But let's talk about the stuff that is announced.
Some of us might have got heat for the posters.
You didn't release the poster.
That's what I said.
It's not your fault for releasing. I think that's fair game. You didn't release the poster. The poster's out there. But
yeah, well,
moving on. Rumble on 44th Street.
Okay, we're good.
Happening. Is happening October 28th. Oh, is it a Friday? Is it Friday, Thursday?
It's Friday.
Oh, sorry. The night before is Thursday. Okay, my apologies.
The night before is a very weird Thursday show.
Yes. Okay, so Thursday, night before, and Friday is Rumble on 44th Street. Let's talk about Rumble on 44th Street. So we have currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, I think, matches outlined here.
395.
Assuming we don't get more, let's see what we got. We have, of course, the return.
We should be getting more.
We might be. We have the return of Clark Connors to action following an injury, and he's going to go one-on-one against Minoru Suzuki.
When's the last time Minoru Suzuki wrestled in New Japan?
You
don't have to look it up. Just guess.
Maybe like a G1 Climax final show?
Maybe. I don't know. He wrestled in All Japan and other places more recently.
Yeah, he's been in the United States.
It was, by the way, a U.S. New Japan show, I believe.
That might be true. Well, what was the last you? I don't remember. I'm gonna look it up. Do you have a final guess? I'm gonna look it up.
I believe it was. I'm gonna stay with the U.S. show.
The U.S. New Japan show, whatever the name of that show was.
Yeah.
Where is N? Okay, there is New Japan. There we go. Let's
Strong Showdown against Fred Yehai.
Yehai.
That hasn't aired yet.
Okay,
so
perfect. So
technically it is. Oh, he actually was.
He's on the Burning Spirit tour. Yeah, he's on the Burning Spirit tour earlier this year.
Who the hell knew?
No one watches the tours. But yeah, so Suzuki versus Clark Connors. I'm very excited to see.
Jerry.
That sounds right.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm very excited to see Clark Connors return in the ring. Obviously, I'm a big Clark Connors guy. Yeah, I'm excited to see what we can do here. We're still wrestling. And not only that, but excited to see if he can sort of maintain that, pop that he got from AEW, and grow that even further.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm excited to see this match.
Sure.
Next up is a Guess Who's Going to Eat the Pin match. 30-minute time limit, strong open weight tag team title match, triple threat. Again, this is a Mikey. This is a fun game. I said Mikey, Scotty. My apologies.
I'm not Mikey.
You're not Mikey, Scotty. My apologies. Sorry, I got a Slack.
So sad.
I got a Slack message.
They added a third team to this.
Well, originally it was Aussie Open versus Kevin Knight and the DKC, two young lions, and then they added just now Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, Motor City Machine Gun. So again, Scotty, everyone's favorite game. Who is eating the pin?
The DKC.
Ooh, sorry, DKC. Sorry, man. Oh, man. So who's winning the match?
Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi. Oi, oi, oi. Oh, baby. Oi, oi, oi. Yeah, I'm excited to see MCMG
you want a fun
here.
Impact spoiler that has to do with them?
Sure.
Yeah, you do. They lost to Frankie Kazarian and Josh Alexander in a tag team match. PJ Black also beat Yuya Uemura. That's Impact.
Impact, baby.
They're pulling an Okada on you more.
Maybe.
Having former WWE star Justin Gabriel beating.
Excuse me, former Ring of Honor star PJ Black.
Former Lifeblood member. I actually don't know if that's true. I don't know if he was part of Lifeblood. I don't know. That group was a dream.
I don't think he was a part of Lifeblood.
That's what they want you to
think. We're all a part of Lifeblood.
White Rabbit Tribe, was he part of that in Lucha? I don't care. Just move
on. No, he was part of Lucha. He was part of Lucha. No, not Lucha Underground. That was the name of the show.
Paul London was.
Yeah, it's Paul London. You're thinking of.
Please let's move on. He went too deep into the career of Justin Gabriel.
He was part of the group of Johnny Mundo and Evans and all that stuff.
That's what I said.
Yeah. Straight tag team match here. Yo and Rocky Romero versus Sho and Yujiro Takahashi.
Oh my God, House of Torture coming to the U.S. Yeah. And bring Evil?
I know.
What the hell, man? Oh, I'm devastated.
I'm destroyed. I'm distraught. I don't believe it.
If they brought Evil, we were going.
You and I are gonna
literally have no ability to. I have to work that night, but we were going.
Me too. I'll be at work. I'll have to take off work and everything. But we would have done it. 60-minute time limit KOPW match. I don't believe we have.
Did you say 6 minutes?
It's gonna be that could be a good gimmick if there was a 6-minute time limit. No, it's a 60-minute time limit KOPW match. Shingo Takagi versus El Phantasmo.
And a Who's Your Mother match.
Yeah, I don't know if we know. I remember seeing the poll for this match, but I'll look into that. But thoughts on, we're getting, again, Shingo Takagi versus El Phantasmo. Presumably a better match.
It won't be as good.
Let's see.
The G1 match.
So it is El Phantasmo proposed a New York City street fight. No DQs, no countouts, anything goes. Shingo Takagi suggested a last daddy standing match. The only way to win the end of the match will be by doing enough damage to win by a 10 count.
Did we not just talk about stipulations?
hindering wrestlers?
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll find out, I guess. But it's Shingo and El Phantasmo, so maybe that's fun. But then, of course, the main event, Kazuchika Okada, Eddie Kingston, teaming up against Jay White and Juice Robinson. And again, I'm going to play everybody's favorite game. Who's eating the pin? God, it's not a lot of options. It's a little bit easier.
It's either Eddie or Juice. Juice got pinned by Red Narita like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's true. Eddie is also employed by AEW, who famously don't lose anywhere.
Juice.
This match should be good. It's a fun tag. This should be a fun tag.
Yeah. I thought Juice didn't work for them anymore.
New Japan? No, he still works there, I think.
No, that was his thing a few weeks ago. He's a free agent, yet he's on every single one of their shows in existence.
He's a free agent. Doesn't mean
except the only shows he's ever on is New Japan shows.
He's a free agent. Doesn't mean that he isn't going to be accepting bookings from New Japan if they're coming his way.
What a pipe dream, Okada and Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston had an interesting year.
Yeah, Eddie Kingston. I mean, it's been hard for everybody, but the pandemic did Eddie Kingston wonders. Coming in, and I mean, he was probably going to come in no matter what, but for that TNT tour, but man, boy howdy, did he taking that ball and running with it, Eddie Kingston, man. You know, it should be a fun match. It's going to be a tag match, so it's not going to be nothing too special. But I'm excited to see Eddie Kingston and Jay White at the very least mix it up together. I think that could be a lot of fun. And then we of course Okada White in there as well. So fun little stuff there. Fun
main event.
Nice little show. Nice little show there.
Nice little show. Sure.
Speaking about nice little shows, I'll lower my glasses on this one. Speaking of nice little shows. Muto Retirement Tour continues with the return. Pro Wrestling Love Forever, .3. This is the third of 5 Muto matches. even though he's wrestled a lot more outside of the 3 or 5 matches. But this is a big show for Noah that's happening this Sunday. So we're of course wanting to talk about it. The top of the card here is your main event. Huge stuff. GHC heavyweight title match. Kaito Kiyomiya versus Kazuyuki Fujita. Scotty, Fujita's back in the title picture, baby.
Do you know who the last person is to successfully defend the GHC heavyweight title?
In one defense, no, I guess in success. Was it Fujita?
Have a successful defense.
Was it Fujita? No, he lost it because of
Fujita.
Was it? I thought he lost it because he defended it once, and then I think he lost it for COVID. He defended
against Masato Tanaka.
Yeah,
very good match.
Yeah.
Then he got stripped
for COVID.
Go Shiozaki beat Kaito.
Yeah.
And then Kano, was it Kano that beat Go?
No, Kojima
beat Go, and then Kano beat Kojima, and then Kaito beat Kano, and now we're here. This is this company.
This is Inokiism, baby.
They have been listen, DDT is very hit or miss. They brought in Joey Janela, so. But Higuchi has been a great champion for them. And I was thinking about this. I was like, wow, what Noah could have done if they just let one of their guys ride.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of their guys ride this year. They didn't let a single guy ride except Kazuyuki Fujita. He's going to win. He's going to fucking win.
Yeah, so there's two thoughts here. One, I spoke about Inokiism. Of course, they're not bringing a lot of MMA guys. They're bringing in Inoki guys like Fujita, of course, and Muto and all that stuff.
Makes me sad.
But also a big part of the Inokiistic era was that they would constantly change the title, the IWGP World Title around, and that's what I mean that this is Inokiism, is that they're changing the title all over the place. So yeah, there's two thoughts here. One, I think the biggest thing though is that we need to talk about is
Fujita, the one last Inoki is a mist.
Mm-hmm. This is the first big show for Noah following Inoki's passing. Fujita, of course, a big student of Inoki. Muto, a lot of people in the back office, big students of Inoki. They've been teasing for months now that whoever is it started with Kano, I believe, and then it transferred to Kaito, that they want to be defending the GHC title against Muto in his last match and beat him. Defend the title against Muto. But then we get this match, Kaito Kiyomiya versus Kazuyuki Fujita, and it could go one of two ways, and I'll explain my two ways. One, Kaito Kiyomiya somehow wins this, right? He got the win over Muto. He proved that he can do that. He has learned and he's trained and learned the dragon leg screw whip or whatever, learned all these Muto moves.
Yeah.
And he's going to use those moves to help beat Fujita, right?
Uh-huh. Sure.
And then he goes off to face Keiji Muto versus Kaito Kiyomiya. And then he probably will lose the title because that makes sense of why Keiji Muto allowed Kiyomiya to beat him all those months ago. Option number 2, Kazuyuki Fujita, as we're all expecting, beats Kaito Kiyomiya.
Yeah.
He beats Kaito Kiyomiya and then defends the title against Keiji Muto at his last match. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And which is, again, the match that they were planning on doing this year during the summer when Muto was going to come back, or before he got injured, actually. That was the planned match, was Muto versus Fujita. They were planning that match months ago, earlier this year. They can return back to that match. They think it's a huge match. It's a Triple Crown people all over the place. With Fujita, with Muto, and they can have this big final main event, and then Muto will probably win the GC heavyweight title in his final match, and then probably vacate it. So we are looking at Kiyomiya probably either winning, getting one defense, breaking the record, tying the record, and then probably losing to Muto and maybe doing another defense. Who knows? Or Fujita wins the title, maybe does a defense, loses the title to Muto, and then the title gets vacated, and that's the end of this company.
What what about the world where Kaito doesn't have to fight Muto again?
Where Kaito wins this match, and then that show has its own random match and not involving
I do
Muto.
think there is a possibility, not a big one, but a possibility. Like if you were to do percentages, this would probably be the lowest. That Kaito wins, right? Right? They ride the ace, and he doesn't have to fight Muto.
Yeah.
Because they've realized, let's move on. Let's move on from this. Let's ride our guy.
But are you saying that Muto is not going to be in the main event of his own show?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the JHC heavyweight title won't be.
Interesting.
Nor will Kaito Kiyomiya. I'm telling you, this is very important. As long as Muto's willing to lose, which is not at all a guarantee, I do think it'll be Kazuchika Okada.
Yeah, I think I agree. If you can get Okada versus Muto, and that can be your main event as a special singles.
That just sounds like something Muto would want.
Yeah, and I agree. And I think that is, it's gonna be.
What's he want more, to win or get a bigger bag?
Who?
Probably both.
That's a fucking tough question. What does Muto want? A win or a bigger payday?
I know. It's a good one.
That's a thinker. That is a thinker there, folks.
Is as close as it could be, unfortunately.
Holy shit. I'm going to think about that for the rest of my week.
You're welcome. You're welcome. But yeah, this is the best part about this upcoming show is we're going to see Tanahashi and Muto.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Who is teaming with Muto?
So that match, the semi-main, is going to be Tanahashi, Togi Makabe, and Tomoaki Honma versus Keiji Muto, Naomichi.
Hey! It's Honma. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Caught me so off guard. Keiji Muto, Naomichi Marufuji, and Yoshihiko Inamura. So again,
so it's old people.
It's everyone's favorite game of who's eating the fall. The New Japan guys or the Inamura.
Muto's definitely winning.
Yeah, Muto's winning. Inamura.
Actually, Inamura's in there. Inamura's getting pinned.
I was about to say, he's getting his ass pinned.
He's the young one.
Yeah, that's getting his ass pinned. But, Tanahashi and Muto in a ring, that should be fun.
Yeah, and the poster's hilarious. The real draw of this show is definitely not Masakatsu Funaki. It is the tag title match. That's the best match on the show.
I'm loving you bringing me along here. Tag title match: Takeshi Sugiura and Satoshi Kojima defending their titles against Kano and Katsuhiko Nakajima. Whoo, baby!
Dig it!
That is
finally something good on this show.
That is. We're talking meat on the bone. That is no bone, all meat. That is just. Yeah. That is. Oh,
yeah. It's a nice medium rare steak.
That is a perfect, just juicy, fall off the. That is a steak. Yeah. That is a bone that that is slow cooked for so long that you just hit it on the table once and all the meat shreds off. Maybe not that. Maybe that's Muto. That's more Muto.
Did Jack Morris ever go home?
He just announced today that he's actually returning to Scotland.
Oh, good for him.
The tour is coming up to him.
But this tag match should be great. The old guys are gonna win, but it should be great.
You and I are strapped in. I'm gonna put this on, a seatbelt in, another seatbelt. I'm strapped in, baby. This match.
We take the little wins here.
Hard hitting, hard slapping.
This is a Humongous card.
Is Nakajima gonna knock out anybody? He's gonna. Is he gonna get the shit kicked out of him? Maybe, I don't know, but I don't care, and I just want to
Kojima
see it.
probably doesn't care.
I don't.
Kojima's probably like, I don't.
I just
You didn't do anything to me.
I'm ready, baby. I'm in it. I can't wait for it, and I want it, baby. Oh yeah. Anyways, Scotty's match of the night: GHC National Championship match. GHC Martial Arts rules. Don't know what they are. Matsukatsu Funaki versus Kazushi Sakuraba. Scotty, thoughts? Give me that big old breakdown of what this match means to you.
The sooner it's over, the better. It's gonna be awful. Funaki sucks. I hate him. I hate this guy. Sakuraba is he is a UFC Hall of Famer.
Yeah. He's important in martial arts.
That's about all I can say about this match because it's gonna suck ass.
Let's move on.
2 packs of ass.
That match is 2 packs of ass, 100%.
Speaking of 2 packs of ass, Hayata still has the title.
Well, I don't think this is. I think this is 1 pack of ass.
I know how excited you are for this.
I'm excited. I want it. I want it.
So let down.
I am. I know I am, but I want it. GHC Junior Heavyweight Title match: Hayata versus Ninja Mac. Noah finally got me to watch a Junior Heavyweight Title match. I can't believe they did it, but I'm in. I'm in it. I'm gonna watch this. I want to see Ninja Mac win this title. I think it'd be cool. He's over in the company, so I could see its possibility, but it's also Hayata and all this stuff. So who the fuck knows?
Yeah, I would get my hopes up.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess we'll see. GHC Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Title match.
You don't have to talk about the rest of the show. It's not good.
Well, I'll blow through it real quick then. Atoshi Koteiji and Seki Yoshioka versus Tadasuke and High 69, again for the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles. We had a straight-up tag match here. Hideki Suzuki and El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. Can't get Timothy Thatcher. Don't know what happened with that guy. Interesting. Hideki Suzuki and Dr. Wagner Jr. versus Masato Tanaka and Masakita Miya.
Oh, I didn't talk about the best part of NXT.
Which was?
They got T-Bar got rid of his fucking mask.
Oh yeah, Dominic Dijakovic's coming back to NXT.
That's actually great.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's going to NXT, but whatever.
So that he can feud with Zion Quinn, probably.
What did you just say to me?
So he can feud with Zion Quinn?
Take it back.
6-man tag team match: Yoshinari Ogawa, Chris Ridgway, and Yasukata Yano versus Super Crazy Ada and Nosawa Rangai.
Nosawa's retiring.
Yeah, he announced that he is retiring. People are unsure if it's true, but he announced that he is retiring. So we'll see.
Dragon Gate and Noah.
He's busy. He's a busy man. Tag team match: Daki Inaba and Yohei versus Jack Morris, our boy Jack Morris, and Dante Leone. He's coming back in here as well. 6-man tag team match: Taniguchi, Alejandro, and Extreme Tiger. Extreme Tiger's coming in versus Manabu Soya, Shuji Kondo, and Ohara. So fun stuff.
This feels very needed to say. I'm sorry.
Sure.
People watch this full show.
Yeah, when I watch I don't watch this full shows. I maybe if I'm watching anything from the undercard, it's something I have interest in. Like
Alpha Wolf and Dragonbane. Me too, man.
Yeah, I might check out Morris and Dante Leone versus Naba and Yohei. I might check that out.
No.
I might check out Hideki Suzuki and Dr. Wagner Jr. versus Masato Tanaka and Masaki Miya.
That might quietly slap.
Yeah, but no, it's whenever I'm watching the shows, it's like the top 4 of the card. It's a lot of just a tag match. It's like it's watching like a New Japan show. It's just like, am I gonna watch a lot of the tag match stuff? They have to have something actively happening in them for me to take interest or news bits, and not all the time does it happen. So it is what it is.
I'm really bad at watching full shows, unless it's AEW or Stardom.
Yeah, unless it's like weekly TV, I guess.
I usually watch full WWE pay-per-views, but that doesn't mean I like it.
Oh well, no, no. I watch a lot of full shows. I go out of my way to watch full shows.
Like this is like a 10-match card.
Yeah.
That's too many, Chief.
Too many. Well,
Too many cooks.
Too many cooks. What is this, Dragon Gate?
That was a good one.
I guess I could also apply to Noah. What is
Yeah,
this,
no, you
Noah?
can definitely apply to Noah. Everyone's trying to book in Noah.
Well, that is it for this week's episode of Ring Post Radio. We got everything on the topic here, so good job
Ooh.
on us. That is it for this week. Scotty, anything to plug?
Yeah. Listen to.
Oh, what was it?
Stardom.
Sorry, what was it?
What?
You said something in agreement, but it sounded. You said. I think you said yeah, but I couldn't hear you. Can you
I said,
say
yeah. Listen to Stardom Road. Do that. My match of the week. My match of the week was Mayu Utani versus Utami Hayashishita from like 4 hours ago.
Watch this match from 4 hours ago. That's beautiful. That is truly beautiful.
Shocking what happens when you put two of the best in the ring and they have to wrestle with meaning.
Yeah. I'm gonna second pitch. Watch Stardom Road. First episode came out for everybody last Tuesday, so definitely go check that out. A lot of good reviews. From it that I saw. But
really?
yeah,
I've seen one.
I saw some stuff, but it looked good. It was a good response. Good response, I should say.
That's good because I don't pay attention.
That's fine. But I'm also going to plug the Patreon. Patreon.com/countoutpod. Please, definitely go check out the Patreon. We got a lot of fun stuff on there. You can, be a $3 tier subscriber, $5, $10 tiers. $5 stuff gets a lot of things. $10 even more stuff. But $5, you can get. We'll have all of our Ryan Hasn't Seen Anything shows. We just recently had Kairi Hojo versus Io Shirai. You and I watched that. I watched that for the first time ever. This was in 2015 for the World of Stardom title. Great match, but you can hear my entire thoughts about it from the Patreon. We also have a new episode of our D&D show, Cantrips and Clotheslines, coming out tomorrow as well on the Patreon. That's on the $10 tier, so you can go check that out. That's a very, very fun episode where we do a bit where I suddenly start hosting American Idol on the show. We also have a special.
This is American Idol.
I do that. I 100% do that on the show. We also just had a huge little preview early release episode of Your Dose of Death come out, where they interviewed hockey legend Darren McCarty. Former hockey player, 4-time Stanley Cup champion for the Detroit Red Wings. So go check that out. Talk about his love of deathmatch wrestling. Again, you can find all of that at patreon.com/countoutpod. My match of the week will probably be. We kind of talked about everything. Ooh, maybe I actually have a match of the week that is old. I've been also watching, as you know, I'm not a historian, but I've been watching a lot of old wrestling to try to get my knowledge up there. And I'm going to talk about, I watched this match. I watched this match recently. Jay Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat versus Don Kernodle and Sergeant Slaughter. World Tag Team Titles Steel Cage match. I thought that match was great. It came out in 1983.
Why?
It was a match of the week on Voice of Wrestling, so I watched it, and I thought it was great. But it was a great match.
Yeah, you couldn't pay me enough to watch Sergeant Slaughter.
No, he's good. I watched what they did is they also provided a link to like a playlist of videos to do the like promos and stuff building up to this match. Sergeant Slaughter carries the feud. He does a phenomenal job. His promos are amazing. Setting up this idea of like, oh yeah, you learn how to break out the Cobra. Well, that's not my Cobra Clutch, and he's like really selling it. He is not Attitude Era Sergeant Slaughter. He is not WWF Sergeant Slaughter. He is smoking jacket, giant stogie, just with holding the titles, being like just screaming down the pipe. Just it's a phenomenal promo stuff from Sergeant Slaughter. Phenomenal feud with him. It's really, really great. I highly recommend it.
There's something much more important for you. You need to find the Stardom pay-per-view.
That came out today?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to. I just didn't get a chance to watch it.
Why, right?
Why is that? Oh, well, I know exactly why. Tekla's back, baby. Yes. 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 Yes.
And Fukigen Death was back too. I know that is right. Yeah.
Yes.
I know that's your other for very different reasons. But there you go.
No, for the same reason. They're both phenomenal wrestlers. What are we talking about?
That's true. That's true.
They're phenomenal up and comers. What are we talking about?
Yes, Fukigen Death, the near 40, if not 40-year-old. I don't know what her age. I forget her age off the top of my head. All right. Bye.
That is it for this week's episode of Ring Post Radio. You can follow Scotty at Scott E Wrestling, me at Ryan Knightsey. We'll see everybody next week. Goodbye, everybody.